So the 401k and the Roth IRA are two major components of the average person's retirement plan. And what we're going to look at today is how to fund those. How do you take your money and split it up between those? What's the best way to do it so that you can maximize the money that you get out in retirement? Your first choice is going to be a 401k up to the match. And what that means is a lot of times when you work for a company, they will match money that you put in. Now, some companies match it at 100%. So dollar for dollar, what you put in, they put in. Some will do half, some will do a little bit more, but they will match the money that you contribute up to a certain amount. So for Joe's example, for instance, that's 5%. The 5% is of his annual salary. So they will put up to 5% of $40,000 into his, as long as he's putting it in also. The second choice is going to be the Roth IRA. And the reason that one is second is because of that tax-free growth we talked about yesterday. That's unbeatable in terms of taxation. So you want to maximize that second. The third choice is your 401k without a match. So if you still have money left over after you've maxed out your match dollars, because that's the free money, you want to take advantage of that. After you've maxed out the Roth, if you still have money left over from your 15%, then you're going to go back to your 401k and put more money into there. It's just not going to be matched. Something you want to keep in mind is that you can only put up to $6,000 per person in the Roth. So you want to make sure to be aware of those limits as you're going through here so that you don't exceed it, because they will not let you put more than that in. Okay, so now let's look at Joe's example. Joe makes $40,000 a year. He has a company that will match him dollar for dollar. So every dollar he puts in, they put in up to 5% of his salary, okay? So the first thing you want to do is you want to figure out your total investment. Now, for everybody, it's recommended to invest 15% of your income. So if we take the $40,000 times the 0.15, that gives us $6,000. So Joe wants to use $6,000 of his money to make sure and invest into his retirement fund. Now what we've got to do is we got to figure out, how do we split up that $6,000? So the first thing, like I said, is the 401k with a match. So they are going to match up to 5% of his income. So what I want to do is I want to figure out what's 5% of Joe's annual salary. So if you take $40,000 and multiply that by 5%, that gives you $2,000. So Joe is going to put $2,000 into his 401k. And his company will match all 2,000 of those dollars because it's the 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, so now he needed to invest 6,000. 2,000 is going to go into his 401k. The company match money is bonus money. It is not, it goes on top of your 15%. You still are responsible for 15% regardless of what your company does. So now what we want to do is we want to figure out how much do we have left over for the Roth. So if he needs to invest $6,000 total, you're going to take the $2,000 out that he's already put into the 401k. That leaves us with $4,000 to put into the Roth. So we're going to put that in there. Okay. The total investment is going to be the total of all three of these categories. How much is in the 401k, how much is matched, and how much goes in the Roth. So the total of all three of those categories is $8,000. So, and you'll see here, here's his 6,000 plus that company match. That's where that 8,000 comes from.